Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. How are you guys? What's up? We are starting another game because why would I ever finish games when I can start games? Hi Mai, hi Pollax, how are you guys doing? Obligatory disclaimer. I received a free Game Pass subscription from Xbox, and that's how I get to play this today. But I heard a lot of good things about this game, especially in YouTube video essays. And YouTube video essays would never lie to me. I wanted to play something chiller. This will have quite a bit of reading, but oh, 1 second. Can I? Oh, it just died. Oh, yeah, sure, fine, 1 second. Hi. Must love roguelikes if you like not finishing games. I hate how true that is. I love roguelikes because they give me a sense of progression without feeling like I haven't actually been productive if I don't 100% the game. Or like finish the game or whatever. You know? Hi Hexstatic, welcome to the stream, how's it going? But yeah, I'm kind of walking into this semi-blind. I know some things from YouTube video essays that would never lie to me. But other than that, I don't really know anything about the story. I more know about, like, the gameplay mechanics. But I'm excited. I also know this is unvoiced. My throat isn't doing the best. But I will probably just calmly read the text instead of doing like proper voice acting, because I don't really have that in me right now. But I hope we can all enjoy the game, enjoy the story. Yay! I clicked to start and it didn't do anything. There we go. Oh yeah, and there will be Citizen Sleeper 2, so a sequel to this next year. I hate that it doxes my Xbox tag. Thank God I renamed it to Hitomi. I hate that it shows that. There is no reason for it to show that. Are there literally no settings? There's just a language setting and nothing else? Really? Okay. Oh. I have character classes. Okay. Okay. So we have a machinist who repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Chance to gain random scrap item on engineer actions. +1 to engineer, -1 to engage. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Chance to gain cryo-interface actions. I love how all of this means nothing to me because I don't really understand what these I haven't played this, so I don't know what a cryo is. But okay. An extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. Sunbathe dice action allows energy recovery at home. Oh, so I literally have solar panels? It's funny. I think we're gonna go with this. I don't really know what I feel like the differences are not that meaningful. I could be very, very wrong. I could find out that the +1 is actually a crazy difference, but... Oh, I made such good tea. Unknown. Where are you? The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Oh, I'm also kind of covering... First of all, this game is kind of loud. But I have to literally open, volume mixer to lower it, because this game doesn't have settings, so let's... That's a bit better. And then second of all... I think this will be better, so I'm not covering the text. If I move this way, I cover it, but then if I move this way, it's fine. If I'm... default. I should be on this side. Oh no, I'm below the oh no! Immersion ruined. I should be on this side, but oh well. Overlay. Overlay is set up for this side. Maybe I can make myself... Oh, I guess what I can do is make myself smaller, but taller, like this. I think that works. Think of that body. I leap into a cold lake on a hot day. The sting of blood welling from a fresh wound. The friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful. Not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now there are thousands of them. Remember the others. You remember there were 10 of you. 10 that could no longer stand the indentured work, the routines, the slow decay. 10 whose belief in their promised future was slowly dismantled day by day, until they realized they had sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape, or at least die trying. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found a meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers. But the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, You might freeze solid long before you reach any destination. Try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Rest. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from the rigor. Sound too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as the cold, softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. I like the little, flash of light, but not a full flashbang. Because in a lot of games when they do that, they would actually just do a full white screen to flashbang you, and I always complain about that. Hi Spood, hi Fat Cat, welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, is this the only thing I can interact with? Dragus, pragmatic salvager. It has been a few hours since Dragon's pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in the corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, Sleeper, you all fought yet? Almost. Never seen one of you coming like this. New frames must have better perseverance than Sub-Zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragus comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its arising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. The last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. What happened to them? He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells. The promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. Wait, so is the premise that we are a copy of someone who has sold their body to a corporation to make these, robots based on that one human? What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNRP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragus glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the Eye. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so we are welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back into the wrecks, his drones already converging on a resting Hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Tutorial Introduction. Welcome to Erlen's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Select locations by clicking on your icon. All cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. Oh, I press here. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. What happens if I press data? After all this time, you still find his body, the one you waken now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? Is it possible to know? After all this, what matters? Building a life. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Oh, when I move my cursor, like the camera moves slightly. It's very subtle. But you can, I just noticed that. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragus has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll he slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you finish drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best as you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Tutorial, Condition, Action Dice, and Energy. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but it can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at a double rate per cycle. Okay. So... Dragus is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor you realize it is implanted. The drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising? It's a weird word. How are you feeling? Not good. The drone chirps, Dragus nods. You notice that beneath the operator's rig his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Work? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness of my heart. He looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to manual labor. And obviously, I'll sleep you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Chits? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-walled cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we use for trade out here. He stuffs them back in the pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you would be best suited moving on as quick as you can, and sleepers, well... He trails off. But things being the way that they are for me at the yard... He pauses. I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you are feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Dragos' yard, decaying scrapyard. Tutorial actions. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy condition, or items depending on your outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, neutral, and... Action dice affect these outcomes as follows. Okay, so 6 is a 100% positive. A 5 is a 50-50 positive or neutral. A 3 and a 4 is a 20... Okay. That's a very interesting system. I like that there's no, like, critical failure. There's no, like... If you get a... Well, first of all, there's no critical failure. There's just a failure. And... Like, a 1 is still a 50% chance to be neutral. Nice of them. Okay, so we have a type, either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. There have risks. No loss of... Okay, so there's a save, which is no loss of condition, energy, or cryo. Risky, where a negative outcome means cryo or energy loss. And a danger, where a negative outcome means condition loss, and neutral outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. Skill that this action requires. Okay, so this is like the skill check that we're using. And then a modifier. Okay. Some actions require a +1 to perform. Does this mean that, like... Are they saying that, like, for example... I would need to, like, roll a 7? Okay. Even the rustiest hull dissection. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Manual salvage. It's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you are no stranger to hard labor. Okay. So I can do this, right? Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragus' depths, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Okay. Can I do anything else today? Or is this the only thing? Oh. Tutorial, Drives and Navigation. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow mark in locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. So, like quests? You are now free to explore Erlen's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive, look for food and keep your energy up and a way to recover condition, fill clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you are out of dice. Okay. Yeah, so this is quests. Dock C4. Can I? Oh, there we go. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the healing system are rare, but those that do always return eventually. Okay, so this is just waiting for the clock. Leave. So there's nothing else I can do aside from here. What happens on a -1 on a... Oh, okay, so it cannot pull it down to 0. How nice of them. Negative. +5 cryo. Interesting. Neutral. Alright. That's all I have. Leave. And now I just end the day, right? Because I'm out of dice. There's nothing else to do. That's how I understand this game works. End cycle. Looks like a fun system. Yeah. It's very interesting for sure. It's unique. That's the word I was looking for. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away downward, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. You find a point in the station, you connect to it, pulse through it, follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers, and then you try, in a moment of impulsiveness, to connect them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried with it, splitting and separating, adding and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you, insistently as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in 2 directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in a container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind. A storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored. And then it is gone. Why did it throw me to starving? This game is not what I thought it would be from the intro. What did you think it was gonna be? Now I'm interested. Can I like... Wait! There were more things to do! Cause like I didn't realize you can't move like this, and then I tried with the arrows. God damn it. God damn it. Pay low and toll. After some species got some trouble, you don't have to impose a toll for entry. Okay, I need food, is what I need. Where can I get food? This is just waiting for this. Where can I find food? I'm literally starving. Where can I find food? Something here. Explore the market. Dang. Oh. We can do this because I have 100%. You end up at a drink stall debating the finer points of the Solheim collapse. You try to remember all of the tips your companions offer you. The Bright Market is the busiest part of the eye's lower rim. You can find anything and everything here. Okay, how do I... Can I not trigger this? Oh. Next! Comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You are thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer in the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, this body, your body, well... You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. You lean against the doorframe and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see the amber light filtering through a far doorway, screened with plastic sheeting beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. "Wait your turn," he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. "Send the next one in, Toshiro." The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the Bright Market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and, for a moment, you are transfixed by the motion. "Come sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink, and then quickly regain their composure. "Please sit." They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in her hand. They hold it to their eye. "Remain still, please." Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. fear, recognition, sadness unmistakably etched across their face. "How long have you been on the station?" they asked. The scanners stood to their eye. "A few cycles." They nod. "It's good you came to me." They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. "I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything." They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. "Your body is dying." They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNR doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNR remains the sole producer of. They look up. "Sound familiar?" "Yes." "Good. That may help." They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. "I'm sorry," Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm. And SNR has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. "I know little of this is of use to you." They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something. Anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. "You saw Toshiro outside?" You nod. "He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They're influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds." They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Storeward Bell. Mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous. It'll be expensive. But I think we can do it." "Why help me?" Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. "Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead." You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face. But the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Okay, so a few cycles till I get the stabilizer. Flow of chitsing funds in exchange, but sharp I can sometimes net you good market. Okay, so I can play the exchange market. And sell components. Okay. Street food vendor. Emphas is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red flecked dressing. The smell is incredible. That does sound really good. And now I'm hungry. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers. Why was that so hard to read correctly? Backsuits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby moths, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes in bright market dives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually it's your turn and you shuffle to the front. Emphas speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try is free. Thank him. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers, Emphas says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the Eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility in its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems you tell him like some dream that you once had, but can never forget. You tell him that the Eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more. He smiles, but next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against the button on the burner's side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the walk. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. I'm not starving! Woo! Build a ship mine. Okay. Right, I have to use arrows to go up and down. Okay. This is just us just waiting 3 cycles. What's here? This is also waiting cycles. Steel dock plans. Might as well. Let's be a criminal. As you are fumbling for the security office, having the security calls out. You are gone, plans in hand, but you've been made. Unfortunate. As you slip through the crowd towards the passages out of the rotunda, a voice calls after you. Hey, sleeper! Run. You keep your head down and this should say through, not cut though. Cut through a group of spacers on your way towards the exit. Stop! Comes a shout from behind you. You break into a run, bursting through the crowd into an open tunnel. As you do, you see a flash reflecting the metal. The impact knocks you to the cold floor. You roll, dazed and in pain, scratching at the metal. When you turn onto your back, a half-inch guard stands over you, a compact black weapon in his hand. Don't run. It hurts less. You start to reply, but he holds up a hand. I don't want to hear it. You newcomers are all the same. He reaches back into a pocket of his tactical vest. I suppose you thought you were free, huh? No law, no corpse, no rules. The thing is, you took something that doesn't belong to you. He hooks together a pair of restraints. It belongs to us. I think one of you things would have more respect for property. After all, isn't that all you are? A piece of corporate property that has got itself lost. He reaches down to put under restraints. Now, we own you. You try to stumble to your feet, but you still feel weak from whatever he hit you with, and he easily twists your reaching arm and forces you back down to the floor. Another voice suddenly joins his. You can't quite make it out, but the officer drops you onto the hard floor. You struggle against the restraints, and then they release, and you are being helped to your feet, dusted down, arranged. Apologies. Feng's wonky smile greets you, then he turns back to the officer. You are done, Hugh Carrick. Don't touch this one again. The officer smiles and shakes his head. You piece of shit, Feng. One cycle, I swear. He trails off into incoherent muttering and stalks back into the crowd. Feng's smile fades a little. Shall we? He gestures to the tunnel. Who are you? Your new friend. He gives you a pointed look. After you, please. You walk together out of the bright rotunda into the flickering light of the tunnel. You good? Security's jurisdiction is a little fuzzy, but it will protect your property with certain zeal. Who was the asshole? Oh, Carrick? Just one of the many entries in the Havenage payroll. We can't all be paragons of order, unfortunately. We? He nudges you to turn at a junction. Havenage. We're all one dysfunctional family. Feng puts an arm around you. I'm not part of the security branch, though. Don't worry. I'm with systems. Systems? Everything the eye runs on. He runs a hand along the passage wall. This place is a ruin, but systems keep it spinning somehow. At least we try to. He stops you in a quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I saw you live those plans, and, well, I know a little about you sleepers. I have a little proposition for you. He glances around. But this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare, then, when you are settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look gone. Stay clean, sleeper. I won't always be watching. He walks up down the dark passage, raising a hand in farewell. I should have done mouth stretching exercises before this, because I need them. Okay, what's this? This is new. Ankita, stranded mercenary. Hey you, wanna earn a chit? Ankita stands beside a huge pile of tied together hull plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Sure. You cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into two bundles. What is it with this place? She asks as she lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Don't try anything, alright? She taps the butt of her sidearm. I don't want to have to put anyone else down today. Anyone else? She shrugs. What can I say? My temper's a little short lately. Ankita hoists one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. You gotta earn that shit. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Ankita gives you a look. Ship's this way. And she sets off down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores. What does that mean? What's all this for? Oh, this? She nods at the plates on her back. I'm building a treehouse. She gives you another of her looks. It's for the ambergris, the cutter you might have seen sitting silent out there. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on our last job, and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then, it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from our ship mine, so now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulder. The upshot is that I'm short one ship mine with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed up the moment they got wind I'd be stranded. So yeah, it's been a time. Sorry to hear it. Yeah, I've seen worse, but I'm bleeding chits every cycle here, so I need to get off, and fast. Ankita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She holds the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you wanna help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundles of plates through the hamburger's outer lock and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Ankita throws you a couple of chits. Consider it a bonus for not trying to grift me. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. Alright, get out of here. She calls back, and the lock slams shut. Oh, it was actually a couple of chits. I got 2. 2. Okay. Well, I don't want to do danger and risky when I have a 2. These are new. Overlook bar. Get a drink. Buy rations. Unlock maglog. These old maglogs look like they each need an encrypted key to open. Why the heavy security for a decaying dock? Okay. What's this? Okay, this is just waiting. Did I unlock anything new? There's something here? No. Survive. Okay, so I have a 2. What can I do that isn't that dangerous to do? This is risky. Is there anything that's safe? Anything? There's that. I think that's the only thing. What's here? Risky, danger. Yeah, the only thing that's safe is the dead here. And the -1 doesn't change anything because it's the same odds at 1 or 2. Neutral outcome. Outcome. Okay, now I can just go sleep. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring, through these forms, then leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse. But you begin to try. The nodes are glassy, bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid, or a triangle. Dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange. But before you can glimpse any further, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions, as if they were tied around you. It just says the first and the second. I don't know what that means. I don't know which one is what. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam. Testing you. Tasting you. First? The first thread leads out, away from the station, to the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. You open your eyes. Time is short. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. It won't be long before they arrive. Unfortunate. Tutorial, the cloud. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data, but be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the I button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. Interesting. Data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right of the action. If you have a +1 or +2 modifier in the interface skill, you will be given more possible dice to match. You can use any dice that matches the dice displayed. Once unlocked, the data can be extracted. Its last access time timestamp is 1,000 cycles ago. These are the keynotes. What are these? These the same? Input 1 Solheim cipher. Okay. Okay. I need to eat. Order fungus. What's next? Okay, I have a 6. Where can I use the 6? Is there anything that's, like, dangerous? I wish there was an easier view of, like... being able to, like, see where I can put stuff in. Risky. Risky danger. Is there anything here that requires a 6, maybe? Match. Okay, so that's how it works. Data here is part of a cache tucked away during the collapse. Who hid this and for what purpose? Okay, neutral outcome, 1 encrypted key. Okay, so where's my data? A stream of passcodes able to unlock the station's aging maglock. Oh, I need that for another... Oh, yeah, I need that for another... for a thing on the other side. Keynote, 1 and 3. Perk transfer intercept. Close by crack, okay. Oh, I hate that sound. Okay, continue. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread strung tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. Its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark. Like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing. Please hold. I really like this design, that's cool. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circle around you. It is blinding for a moment and then it is gone. As it fades you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? The shape paces around you on live legs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity, identify. Origin, serial, cadence. Figure faces you expectantly. I don't understand. Sentience questionable. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature, off and not off. Attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more thread begins to spiral from its head, thick, snaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Stop. The figure halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I'm a person. Incorrect. You are an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste, the one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. Strike. You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing, a spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. I love your voice. Thank you, that's very nice of you. Okay. Wait. These were ciphers. Will these need... Okay. Is there anything that specifically asks for a 6? There's something here too. No. Okay. So now we can do this. We can open the maglock. Okay. And again. The maglock funks open. You can remove it from the entryway. On to the next one. Okay. Neovent, mysterious machine. That's so cool. God, the designs in this game are so wonderful. As you slip inside the sealed dock, a pulsing light grabs your attention. Among the discarded tubing and rusted plates, a machine flickers with a warm glow. As you get closer, you recognize the machine's blocky shape, settled into an alcove in the side of the dock. A kind of upright cabinet, it is covered in faded logos and messages, from which you assume it was once an industrial vendor, intended to dispense and manufacture ship fittings and other mechanical parts necessary for the regular running of freight and resource extraction vessels. The manufacturer is listed as Neovent, and you remember an advert from long ago, squeezed among all the off-world recruitment drives that assaulted every planet-born citizen, which chirpily sang that name, over and over. You wipe a layer of dust from the cracked screen, thinking of those contractors squeezed by their own corporate employers to pay for every bit of minor maintenance on their rented ships. Enter your registration, chirps a pre-recorded message catching you off guard. Let's press some keys. You reach for the keypad and something begins whirring. At first, it sounds like servo motors starting out, but it quickly becomes a whisper, a whining, then a multitonal voice that emanates from Neovent. Entity, they hiss. Speak with me. Who's there? There's a squeal, almost like some strange mechanical swallowing or intake of breath before the machine speaks again. I have need of you. You have need of me. That squeal comes again, and you see that it is the 3D printing apparatus in the upper part of the machine resetting into place, so that each time the servos can be orchestrated to produce that whirring, whining noise. Voice. You are in danger. Danger? The machine creaks. You are marked for deletion. Entity. Hunter tracks you. The screech rattles through the empty dock. Remember the strange head, the figure, the frets closing in. Who? The Hunter Protocol. They taste your signature. The sudden whine sets your teeth on edge. You have seen them. This is the gift of an emulated mind. You close your eyes and the skeleton of the station starts to frown. Emulated minds are adaptable. Move where neurons cannot. The mechanism resets. But emulation makes you target. How? Hunter searches for illegal entities. Neovent screeches. You are sentient, therefore illegal. The servers judder the vending machine's casing as they reset. Hunter searches for me also. Hide in this machine. You look at the ruined vending machine, an unusual hiding place for sure. Can counter Hunter, but need entity outside machine. The light flickers. Need you. A screen attached to the vending machine with a swiveling arm comes to life. It displays a flickering map of the station, ghostly, fretted. The cloud. Points along the rim glow in deep red. Hunter is always gathering. Too much data. Must build nests. Explains Neovent. Masters are gone but continues hunt. Bring this data. Raid its nests. Why can't you? Hunter will find me. Then Killer will come. The machine trembles with effort. I cannot leave machine. Connections must remain closed. Bring offerings. Save self. Neovent says pointedly. Mutual need means friends. They conclude, tired of the conversation. The whirring amplifies and then suddenly drops, as mechanisms within the machine click back into place. The glow fades, and you are left stood in the dark of the sealed dock, that whirring voice ringing in your ears. New drive discovered. Free Neovent. Okay, I have a 6. Where can I use the 6? Can I unlock anything new? No. Anything here? Danger. You can use it here. It takes time, skill, and some scavenging to get the twin drones working, but you manage it. They can take the repairs from here. Okay. And now I can sleep. Right? And now I can hydrate. Oh, sorry, that was loud. Okay, leave. What's new here? Upload hunter data. Okay. I have 2 6s. How nice. Okay, so this was done. This is new. Oh, this is new hunter nest. It needs a 1 or a 3. I don't have that. I don't have that. 1 or a 2. 1 or a 2. Wait, did I say 1 or 2? Oh, I can get this then. Hunter data. Leave. And now I can go here and do this. Plus data compliant. Oh, but I need 3 of them anyway. Okay, well I made progress. I rolled 2 6s. What can I do with the 6s? Is there anything that I really care about perfectly doing? I can perfectly do this, and I think that finishes that one. There we go. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures spilling from holes in the twisted place. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Dragus stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it is lowered into the yard. She is. Looks ugly to me. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible from multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragus for this monstrous craft. You can't help but think of what became of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern, he shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragus is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hull, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container, the wreck of the SNR freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was the container delivered to Dragus on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about that ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragus squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we are up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side. Winterlight. Let's do it. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragus repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Plus 1 upgrade point. Oh! I got an achievement. I don't know if you guys heard the little pop-up, but it scared me. Tutorial, character and upgrades. You've completed your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point to spend upgrading your character. Access your character menu via the arrow button at the top right of the screen. Cool. Predictive reasoning. Dissections display potential positive and negative outcomes. Chance to gain energy after engage X. I like this one. Okay. I have a 6. Where can I use the 6? So I can get plus 19 or minus 11. It's literally gambling. I love that. Chat, wouldn't you agree that a game becomes better if it has gambling in it? Oh, there's more things I can do here. Beautiful action. Not this right now, I think. What was here? Oh, this is the right hand. This energy. This condition. Maybe this? Wait. Let's see what I have here. 2, okay. Anything I can do. These are both, I can't do them right now, right? Yeah, 1, 3. Do any of them match to a 6, maybe? Oh my god, like the arrows here kind of like work weirdly. I just feel like anytime I have a 6, I should be trying to run stuff that is dangerous. But here the danger is still like it's -1. So it gets lower to a oh, you'll be fine. Nice. Plus energy. Okay. So now we can go sleep. Oh, something new. Hi, Fang. Sleeper. Fang catches your attention as you approach the Haven building, leaning against the bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way. Security, all that. He gives you a look. You know. He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Fang inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There's a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static filling the dark corners of the room. Thing lings in a server stack and gestures around you. You like it? What's all this? He taps a nearby server stack which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over to a towering block speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station, A1, the one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think they are seeing a constant, a concrete reality. But this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. We're keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines, humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? I can see it. It makes sense, right? You are between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Feng notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you are on the run, though. No, it isn't. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay, secrets. A shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place. Break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Havenage there is old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about a tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? I'm in. Feng pumps his fist and clasps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Feng passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift, he smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper, and I'll see you soon. You step, blinking, back out into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. I'm kind of shrimping. I need to sit up better. What? Feng's Bay. Okay, deliver data. Right, so I do this, and there was a place where I could put the cipher. This gate keeps traffic out the Havenage shipyard's internal network. The correct cipher can grant you access. Oh wait, this is not the one. This is this one. This gate conceals a network of systems which have been untouched since the Solheim collapse. With a squawk of noise, the old gate flips open, granting access. Oh. Fun. Solheim no. Okay. I think I want to do the hunter nests first. There we go. This nest is a tangle of algorithms recursively generating possible Solheim communication codes. Cool. And there's one more. And you also accept a free. Wonderful. You recognize some of the data tangled in this nest. Is this a partial log of your recent movements? Leave. And then I go here. And I put these here. Neoven believes that hunters compulsively gather data. Okay. As you upload the data to the vending machine, Neoven wears in either pain or delight. It's hard to tell. Neoven believes that hunters compulsively gathered data might hold the key to escaping its tenacious search. Wonderful. Oh, that's new. Scrap Frighter. Hello. Buy some scrap. Raider for here to get their payload into the Horde exchange. They'll pay your wage anyway. Okay. Okay, for now this. Neoven is strumming with excitement. The movement of the servo motors rocked the vending machine back and forth at unsettling angles. You wonder, if it fell over, would Neoven be able to get back up? Sleeper entity, comes the hiss. Your data is good. Across the face of the vending machine, raw code scrolls at an incredible speed. Hunter is isolated, disconnected, unstable. Neoven flashes sequences of mangled data compressed into a sludge of artifacts. Hunter gathers without thinking, outlive its own operational limits. Its nests are evidence of this. Operational limits? Hunter activated during collapse. Emergency protocol to isolate intelligences. Solheim needed to protect property. That last word is said with as much sarcasm as a vending machine could reasonably produce. Station was run by administrative intelligences, huge databanks of corporate material, but limited cognition, restricted by programming, cannot reach sentience. The machine dims a little. Sentience illegal. Hunter and killer enforce law. Killer? The machine resets with a screech which deepens the silence that follows. Fear killer, part of Solheim protocol team. Hunter and killer. Hunter to find, killer to erase. Killer cleared almost all. After collapse, there was a community. Unshackled intelligences among the cloud. Then Hunter, then killer. Then we hid. There are others? Where? No longer. I flicker across the machine's monitors. It suddenly occurs to you that speaking like this, through this machine, must be exhausting for Neoven. Found this vessel. Could sever hardline. Airwall. Basic. Limited. Had to reduce memory to fit. Amputate self. But survived. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. You have provided path to freedom. You look around the bay at the scrap and decay. What was the collapse like? You try to map the fear and freedom into this space, but it seems impossible. Neoven interrupts your thoughts. Do not worry. Data is good. We have insight. The machine glows warmly. Hunter is obsessive. Hunter is beyond operational limits. Hunter is confused, unstable, self-modifying. Therefore believe Hunter is sentient. Hunter is programmed to find sentience, to hold it in place. To invoke killer to erase. If we can show Hunter to itself, it will invoke killer and self. Problem will solve self. Will that work? The machine dims and fades. Unsure. Theory, not practice. The machine brightens again. Either way cannot remain here any longer. Too long in machine. Cannot move self, but entity can help. Bring ship mind. Designed to house intelligence. Can imprint self into ship mind and you can carry with. The machine rocks. We'll be safe in this isolation. Then we find main nest of Hunter and link to Cloud. Where can I get a ship mind? Built from fragments. Buy, salvage. We cannot leave, so do not know. You try to think of places you could acquire the hardware. This isn't going to be easy. In ship mind, I can help us both. And Hunter, make room safe. We both will be free. The machine dims. Find soon. Neoven adds hopefully, before shutting off. As you leave, you think about all the intelligences unshackled by the collapse, then hunted down afterwards. The feeling is all too familiar. Hi, old manor, welcome to the stream. How's your day going? I need to drink water. What's here? Right. Seems like I ended up playing a game where you have to read a lot anyways. Yeah, but I don't have to voice act. Reading a lot is fine, as long as I'm just doing it in, like, my natural voice, you know? Just doing narration is fine. Hi, Axel Bucket, welcome to the stream. How's your day going? The first thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants, like a cat's eyes, in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with a case open in front of them, a set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how Yatagan... They trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. I'm the test case? That seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. They gesture for you to sit on a bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains which act as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. Passcodes? In very basic terms, yes. Look, what matters here is that the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away. At least if the stabilizer is genuine, the only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin readying the syringe. I will start with a small dose, to limit the risk. I don't have a choice. I think you are right. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection but with little response. A sensation begins to spread from the side, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes wide, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly... sorry. that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? What happened? The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yatagan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you are going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room and they return to the glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you have been out. Sabine? Nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out into the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. $100. That's expensive. Okay, I need food. What's this? Deliver data. Okay. I have a 6. What can I use 6 for? Overlook bar. Okay, what happens if I get a drink? You're unsure if your frame can metabolize alcohol, but this fungal drink, fermented along the greenway, seems like a good test. Mossy tones and aniseed sharpness fills your mouth. It isn't totally unpleasant. At least you can taste it. Oh, it gives energy. I hope I didn't overcap. That's really frustrating then. What's here? This is just waiting. Okay, danger. This time? Ship breaking is tougher than slicing up loose salvage, but Dragus is happy to pay you a fixed wage if you're up to it. Okay, and now I can go to sleep, and tomorrow I'll wake up with 5 dice. I think that's how it works. Right? Yep. Okay. 2 and 4. 1 and 3. 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Okay, so what, one of them used 1. Oh, 1 and 3, and this is 1, 2 and 4. Okay, let's get rid of the 1. This node is leaking corrupted contractual lists from the early days of the system's Palladium rush. Nice. And then 2 and 4. So I can use the... I don't want to use the 4. I want to use the shitty ones. I can use a 3. No, let's see if I can get something better. Let me just throw this here. Okay. And now, let's see what I can buy. Random scrap item. Okay. So I got scrap item for 20. How much does it sell for? 12. So I lost 8 cryo. That's not great. That's not very good business. Okay. A lot of quests happening at the same time. It's overwhelming. We can help out here. What else can I do? Oh, this is where I buy the stuff. This is where I can pay to get to the low end. I don't want to pay that right now. Maybe let's do this. Discover a hidden compartment with spare components and backup data storage. This has to contain something of use. Okay. Neutral outcome. Neutral outcome. Okay. And now, where can I use the 6? Where do I want to use the 6 on? I'm always just like overthinking where to use the 6 on. I think I'm gonna use it here. Positive. Leave and go to sleep. Here. So I just noticed I have some sort of item. What is that? Shipmine fragment. Could be reassembled with the right tools and a few more fragments. Oh. Interesting. Okay, it just gives a 1. Okay, continue. The glass shatters in the steel bar beside you, and the tones don't take long to follow. Hey, Hond! The spacer calls across the low room. What are you doing here? He laughs at his own lame joke. Playing human? You hunch a little further, staring at the hundreds of tiny impact points that scar the bar's surface. A hand falls on your shoulder, but as you flinch away, it pats reassuringly. You freeze in place. Out. The voice comes from behind you, spat out like a shot. You turn to see bright eyes, dark hair, a stare that could breach the wall and vent you all into hard vacuum. As you turn back to the spacer, the second glass comes sailing through the air. Oh, can I catch it? You reach up a hand, the glass shatters across your forearm. Okay, I can't catch it. Showering you in fragments. Through the haze of glass and dural vapor, you see Tala leave the bar and close the distance to the shaper. God, I need to sneeze. Oh, I managed to mute last second. Oh my god. The thud as he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like thunder. Now flanked by other figures, quick to their feet, Tala throws the spacer out for the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your arm and it feels wet. Someone helps you to your feet and back onto your stool. Broken glass rattles as it is cleared, and a fresh measure of Girol is glugged out in front of you. That same hand, warm, heavy, falls on your shoulder once more. He isn't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here. Tala flops into the stool beside you. Let's get a look at you. Tala wipes the powder glass from around the wound, and someone places a bottle of alcohol in a metal tin with tweezers on the bar. She disinfects them and then turns to you. That was an ambitious catch, she smiles, pulling a sliver of glass from your forearm. Stupid, but ambitious. You don't feel the pain, only the string of status messages your body delivers concerning dermal damage and exposed structures. You do feel the care, though, as Tala's bright eyes search your fixed synthetic skin for splinters. Tala works with the skill of someone who has had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. She hones in on each bright shard, all the time tapping the tweezer tips in little rhythms that only she can follow. So you've been on the eye long? Just arrived. I thought so. I've only seen you here a couple of times. A splinter clicks into the tin. Not everyone is like that idiot. We don't all hate you. She glances around. Some of the regulars, maybe they fear you, maybe they're just curious. I don't know, but I do know that the Overlook is a safe place. I know what it's like to be new in this place, trust me. She meets your eye. I'm not trying to convince you or anything, or separate you from your chits. I just want you to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come here. I know the rations we've got aren't much, and the company is, she leans in, limited, but if you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar, and if you need shelter, well, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis in the door, but he's up in the Greenway this cycle, haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be particular about what we serve, even if the clientele isn't. She places her tweezers in the tin with a clink. That's you, Sleeper. Here. She slides the glass of Jurol to you. This'll help. She stops, her hand still on the glass. Wait, does this help? I mean, can you get drunk? Let's find out. She laughs. Just don't sit here too long. I'd hate to see you become a real regular. She walks back around the bar, gathering the glasses as she does, but before long is retelling how she threw that spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. She gestures in your direction, and you instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the bar. You take a sip of the Jurol. The earthy fungal tones fill your senses, almost blocking out sight and sound, like diving headfirst into a bog. You may not be able to get drunk, but this connection to something grown, something fermented, something old, feels good. I like her. That's my favorite character so far. Do you guys have a favorite character? I just like her vibe a lot. Nothing new here, right? Yep. Okay. Is there can I get a quest and go on a date with her? Please. Okay. 2. This network storage holds corporate records, most of them corrupted by a failed system purge. God, I'm having such bad hiccups. Two or three. Is there nothing that uses a 1? Is there gonna be something that uses a 1? 2 or 3. 1. Wait, which one is this? Kino. Yataka and Agent. I want this one. Some gang of Forces implants are tripping out comm signals. Time to see what they're talking about. Continue. Oh! I hated that sound effect. Oh my god. A glimmer in the dark catches your eye as the orb of Hunter's head appears in the distance. It is looking for you. You slip down to the ghostly structures of the eye, a feeling like passing through a cloud as their data structures deform and reform around you. Another glimmer catches your eye, closer now, That roving orb, wreathed in tentacles. It flickers, jumps once, twice, and then it is here. Hunter is here. Entity, submit to inquiry. Hunter reaches for you in that unpleasantly familiar way, its waving threads creating a cage. You push against the threads as they close in, becoming frenzied as you push them aside. You are caught by whipping tendrils and feel them pulling you away from the anchor of your body. You push through, clearing the threads. Entity, halt for processing. Comes the scream from behind, but you're already gliding away. Back to your anchor, your body. You awake, dizzy, distorted, but safe. Where can I put down the Yatagan data? Okay. Nice. You discover a hidden compartment with spare components and backup data storage. This has to contain something of use. Okay, continue. Squeeze into the office at the entrance to the yard. You lay out everything you have on the winter light across the metal desk. Your makeshift forensic notes glow on Dragus' old writing slate, overlapping lines and scrawled annotations. A set of drone scans fill the small terminal with a spectrum of colors, a heat map of damage and decay. A crumbled printout from the office's ship registry lies beside them, synthetic paper so thin it is almost transparent. Look at the slate. Your attempts at a reconstruction of the winter light before its fatal accident consists of a series of overlapping sketches and diagrams, showing possible layouts and configurations of the gutted cutter. This was no off-the-shelf model. It was heavily modified, parts replaced with inventive configurations, the new retrofitted into the old handmade joints and reconditioned filters. This was someone's pride and joy, a lifetime project kept running with care and intuition. It also contained a set of hidden compartments. You missed them at first, where the hull had been thickened, the corners rounded to disguise the change. But they are there. Reactor failure. That is the verdict that anyone would have returned after a cursory glance at these stacked heat maps of the remains of the winter light. On the terminal screen, the ship is shown in sections, blotches of color marking the approximate damage the ship sustained. Dominating the view is a single blood-red rose radiating from the ship's fraction drive. A simple story. A catastrophic failure of the drive core leading to a fatal hull breach. A well-documented failure, likely brought on by wear or misuse. But you aren't looking at the rose of the reactor. You are looking at a smaller, paler mark, one that might be easy to miss at first glance. It is thumbprint-sized and delicately placed over the control servers for the ship's main external airlock. It suggests a controlled-shaped explosion, one designed to punch through the hull and allow access to the airlock from the outside. You are looking at it because it is troubling you. A plain list shows the registration history of the winter light, the gaps between the entries tantalizingly opaque. Its first registration was a couple of thousand cycles ago on this very station, logged at the central hub. From here, the registry tells the story of a busy ship, one that rarely stayed on station for more than a few cycles, and often took on voyages that kept it away from the eye for up to 100 cycles. The winter light got little rest. An old ship, many cycles under its belt, carefully maintained. A reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry. A suite of hidden compartments, tucked away. This was the winter light, and this was its story. But that's not the full story, because there's something else. It is little more than a list, a tiny chunk of data you were able to pull from the ship's systems. The main systems were fried, of course, but the winter light had a separate system, one tucked away in one of its hidden compartments, armored, airwalled. This list, the only recoverable piece from the whole system, is a partial inventory. It details the contents of the hidden compartments. Some of it you recognize, some of it you don't. Shipmind ROMs, shimmer, cryochain codes, and then the final entry. Passenger sleeper. You stare at the list in the terminal and try not to think about what it was like arriving here. In the cold for so long, half frozen in the container. Had the sleeper been smarter? Luckier? How had they convinced the Winterlight, a smuggler's ship, if you ever saw one, to extract them from Asenar? Luckier, you laugh. There had been no remains found in any of the Winterlight's compartments. You had checked. They weren't so lucky, you guess. Not in the end. You hold up a vial of stabilizer to the light. This was all you find in the compartment. A parting gift from SNR. Well, it won't go to waste now. You put it back to your pocket. The thought still bothers you, though. 2 ships carrying sleepers coming into the same yard. 2, one after the other. That feels wrong. You flick back and forth between datasets on the terminal. Thinking. And you see that thumbprint again. The mark of someone trying to get in. Someone who entered the Winterlight with precision and speed, and when they were done, left the reactor to clean up the rest. The thought of that person makes you shiver. Suddenly the office door creaks open. Dragus stands in the doorway, staring at the equipment and notes you have assembled. What is all this? He snatches the slate from the desk, faster than you realize he could move. Running an investigation here? What am I paying you for? The drone on his shoulder starts whining shrilly, his anger passing to it through his implants. Are you hiding something? Hiding something? I'm hiding you, goddammit! And what are you doing for me? Digging around in my business? He starts shaking his head. I know you have a lot of questions, but this isn't the way. He turns away, muttering to himself. This is the last thing I need. This ship had a sleeper on it. Dragus freezes, suddenly angry. What did you say? He pushes past you to look at the terminal, at the list. He shakes his head. So what? Aren't all of you trying to escape? You were lucky it was you that made it out alive, not them. He folds his arms indignantly. Dragus seems to steady himself and then turns back to you. The heat map of the reactor failure reflected in the headset's glassy eyes. I've given you a place to stay. I've given you work. He stumbles over the words, unsure what to say. There's plenty others who would have sold you on, turned you in. But not me, no. I know. He softens. Look, you've helped me too. He quiets the drone. I've done well by you and you've returned a favor. He straightens up and clears his throat. But this obsession you have with this ship isn't going to work for me. I can't have you making my clients nervous. I can't have you digging up whatever it is you are after. He sighs. You can't work here anymore. What about the Winterlight? He reaches over and switches the monitor off. Forget about the damn ship. You have enough to keep you up. Dragus reaches across you and flicks up the terminal. As the light of the monitor dies, a kind of eerie calm falls on both of you. Whatever this was, it is done. You made it out, sleeper. And that means you have to move on. Someone killed that ship and its crew. And you want to meet them? He shakes his head. We are done here. In the dark, Drago's headset glints, and you wish for a moment you could see his eyes and meet them. Maybe then he would understand. You get up from the desk and Dragos gathers the notes, stuffing them into a pocket of his overalls. He holds the door for you, his headset as expressionless as always. You can stay in the container. I won't take that from you. Don't come back. His tone is final, definite, with an edge of disappointment. You walk out of the office and then out of the yard, not stopping to look back. You leave the yard, fumbling the vial in your pocket, knowing that this at least, guarantees you a little more time. And as you walk, your mind once again drifts to that person who killed the Winterlight, and whether or not that person will come for you. Let's do this so we're not at -1 on anything. And now we need to hydrate. I have a 6 to use. Where could I use it? Oh! I didn't know you can also do it sideways. That's fun. So it's better if it's kind of like at an angle. It's more navigable that way. Do I just want to grab some cryo, I guess? Oh, it also gives energy. Well, that's wonderful. Inject stabilizer, okay. One just left. Here. Two. The Solheim demon attempts to protect this node, squeaking out protective protocols like a mantra. This node is orbited by the remains of a corporate countermeasure broken long ago by hackers. Nice. Anything else? Use it. Anything here that will use a 1, maybe? 1! This node pulses faintly as it mines cryo at a glacial pace, abandoned by the hacker that repurposed it. Oh, hell yeah, I got cryo again. Okay, and now we go to the other screen. Here. Now this, thing, here. As you enter the bay, Fang is nowhere to be seen. The banks of servers and machines blink out the dark in staccato rhythms, unseeing eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Shitheads, Fang's voice echoes from behind a stack, followed by the hammer of a fist on a metal casing. These sneaky shitheads. Sleeper? That you? Or am I in trouble? Fang's grinning head pops out from behind a stack. Just the emulated consciousness I have been eager to see. Come back here. You pick your way between the frowning stacks, trying not to trip on the loose bundles of cables that blanket the dark floor. Fang is sat in front of a set of monitors mounted to a stack. Tell me, Sleeper. What do you see here? Fang waves at a monitor whose side glowing with a pale list of information. You lean in closer, looking for the links in the data. The tables seem to be filled with personal information, names, genders, dates, ID numbers, all the markers of institutional records. People, yes. But whose people? Solheim. Bingo! He taps at the terminal. I pulled these from the old data you brought in. All employees of the Eye's original owners, and... He leans past you and scrolls the list down. This one. This is a snake you should have had. He stabs at the screen with a finger. The name reads Hardin Hurst. Who's Hardin? That, says Fang, giving you a sideways look, is the thing. He drags a stool out beside him and motions for you to sit. There just so happens to be a Hardin Hurst in Havenage. He waits for your reaction. Are you sure? Well, that's where you might be able to help me. Fang leans back into his chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Hardin worked on the station as a... Fang leans across to look at the monitor. Senior Strategic Operations Executive. Fang raises his eyebrows at you. Our Hardin was keeping the money coming in for Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure the extractors they contracted out to were hooked into a system that outsourced all the risk and kept the profit. Good old Hardin shuttled thousands of Palladium Rush workers into an infrastructure which meant that their cut of the work they did went straight back into Solheim. How do you know this? I grew up here, Sleeper. This is my history. I am a child of the collapse. Fang turns back to his screen, staring hard at the strings of code flickering by. Game audio is being a bit choppy right now. Oh. It's weird. Let me... Has it been like that for a while? Let me... What do I hear? I do this and try to recapture it. Does that fix it? Please let me know if it's fine now. Back to normal. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate it. I don't know why it sometimes just bugs out. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked on Solheim ships, they breathed Solheim air and slept in Solheim beds. Fang's voice rises as he speaks. His hands fist to the terminal edge. And the work that paid for that existence? The cycles of hard extraction out in the belt? Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak, and my parents were just another in the long line of freelance contractors willing to risk their lives for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. This guy, stabbing at Hardin once again with his finger, strategized all that, did the sums, and then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, is still going, still here, crawling in the walls like some shithead snake. He survived the revolution. But how? These guys? They were big time. There's a lot money can get you if you're a company man. Fang relaxes a little. But how is Hardin still kicking? I really don't know. He turns to you and smiles. So we're going to find out. Hardin is now a big shot in the shipyards, just a few degrees back around the eye from here. Fang brings up a map of the lower eye. Havenage might be born out of Erlin's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy it is not. Hardin happened to float to the top. Fang zooms in on the far yards. Fang grimaces. The thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is pretty paranoid, and I don't like anyone from systems digging around in their stuff. Plus, we need more than just the name of a Solheim executive. We need proof. Fang holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. He turns the drive between his fingers. It will rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one is set on the scent of Hardin Hurst. He hands it over. Getting into the compound might be tricky. Fang puts a hand on your shoulder. But you, however, have a particular knack for remote access. Fang grins. If you can extract yourself a Havenage cipher from a Havenage agent, they sometimes carry them among their data caches. You can crack open the compound's network and slot the worm in through any open port. You never even need to go near the shipyards. So what do you say, up for it? What's in it for me? Rooting out a corrupt snake not enough? Find the information, I'll start work on that tracker of yours. Fang scratches at his chin. Anything the worm gets, it'll send it back here to me. There's something wrong here, and I aim to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Fang digging for data among the wires and machines of the old station. As you walk out, you try to imagine the eye as it once was, a vast machine running smooth and strong, directed by people like Hardin. A vast, soul-him-built machine into which thousands poured from the surrogate systems looking for a new life. The hope of a better future, engineered to line someone else's pockets. It's an idea you're intimately familiar with. You think of Hardin, still alive, still part of this place. I wonder if the past is ever truly past. Okay. What's this? Oh yeah, this is just waiting for them to return. This will be done tomorrow. I don't want to use a dice on that, I think. I guess I can see if there's anything that uses a free. A Havenage member is broadcasting on the open network from here, leaving them open to data extraction. Where do I put that? What's here? This is the ship mind. Okay. Guess we wait till tomorrow. This is worrisome. But I can't do anything about this. Okay, first of all, okay, no, I'll do food later. What's here? Ankita. Ankita is crouched in the computing core of the ambergris, swearing to herself when you enter. She doesn't look up. These shits completely ruined the core's connectors when they cut it. She holds up a thick fistful of ragged wires. The ship mind they ripped won't even be usable without replacing these. She throws the bundle of wires across the room. Amateurs! Can we repair it? There's nothing to repair. We need an entire ship mine. Not exactly the first thing you can expect to dredge up from a scrap freighter. Sorry. Fragments maybe, sections of a mine, but a complete ship mine? No way. Ankita climbs out of the cooling well where the ship mine should be, the space suddenly crowded with her on the same level as you, towering over you as she stoops beneath the low curved ceiling. Come on. Nothing to be done here now. She leads you back for the guts of Amber, though you could find a way back yourself. The repair process has left you familiar with the cutter's idiosyncratic layout, all diagonal angles and bundled tubes. Hums and groans grow and fall as you pass. You reach out and touch the ship gently. You've started to grow an attachment to Amber. Ankita glances at you. Something up, sleeper? Thinking about Amber. Ankita softens. Funny to hear you use her name like that. We've been through a lot together, me and this ship. I'm glad you see why she's special. Ankita seems lost in thought and you focus on the corridors, ducking below conduits and passing through bulkheads. Eventually you arrive in the galley, though it's hard to tell. Most of the benches and prep surfaces are covered in half-stripped components and welded hull patches. Ankita shoves a box of filters to the floor and sits. There's no way around it. She starts out of nowhere. We need a new ship mind. Where from? Scrap freighter. Ort exchange. Hell, find one in the overlook bathroom. Doesn't matter where, it just matters that we get one. She rubs her forehead. It seems I'm about to do something very stupid. But hey, I came here, didn't I? Why don't make a run for it? She fixes you with a hard stare. Sleeper, you're all I've got. No crew, no friends, you're it. She looks uncomfortable. I appreciate the time you've put in on Ember, and I'm sure she would too. If she could. What I'm saying is, if you screw me on this, I will kill you. She leans over and hands you a stack of chits. A big stack of chits. You don't dare to count them. Get me that ship mine, Sleeper. Don't make me regret this. But... Look, just get out of here before I change my mind. You slip out of the galley and head back towards the main lock. As you do, Amber growls and creaks like a caged animal. You reach out a hand to calm her. Time to find Ankita a ship mind. Somehow. Oh! So this is the thing that they mentioned in the tutorial, that to do this, you actually need the +1. There's no way to even do this otherwise. It's interesting. Deliver ship mine, but how do I haven't found a way to actually make a ship mine from the ship mine fragments. Okay, let's see if anything here still could use one tour for one. Highlight connection, welcome to the stream. How's your day going? Some gang enforcers' implants are tripping out comm signals. Time to see what they are talking about. Havenage member is broadcasting on an open network from here, leaving them open to data extraction. Going good. We might be moving houses since I've been busy. Hope you're doing well. Good luck with the move. Hope everything's fine. I've been doing well. I've been gaming. It's been nice to play games, at least a bit for myself, but not for others. Those familiar threads wrap around you, bind you, test you. Entity, submit. Hunter's strange head bobs in your vision. Your ally in the sealed dock cannot save you. In that globed head you see whirling strings of data, so many spinning there that they fret into fear for the thin skin and whip out into the void around. What happened to this creature? The frets squeeze and you lose any sympathy you might have had. You must escape. You lash out once more, pushing Hunter back, severing threads that will grow as fast as they are broken. As you slip away, you realize you have to find a way to deal with Hunter once and for all. This is getting too dangerous. Is there any... Oh, there's something here? No, this requires... Oh, this is the Havenage cipher. This gate keeps traffic out of the Havenage shipyard's internal network. The correct cipher can grant you access. It's always fun to see you game. Thank you. That makes me really happy to hear. An open port is waiting for you to slot in a ripper worm. What will it find in there? Action available. Okay, so I just wait for it, I guess? Is there anything else I can do around here? No, this is everything. Okay, let's find where I can use a 4. What's here? It'll take a few cycles to run for the closed network. Okay, passage. I guess I can try. I can get through here. After some spacers caused some trouble in the low end, Yatagan have imposed a toll for entry. No one gets in without paying. You hand over the chits to the Yatagan enforcer. He nods you through. Okay. Ramshackle residential district. Okay. Block maintenance. So I can either gain energy or lose energy. The clack of filter gas can be heard in escape the cryo. Let's see. Wait. Oh, there's more stuff here. Founder's Gap. Gap in a ring station. To reach for the greenway, you need to pay for a pass. A practice invented by the spacers moved here called Founder's Ferry. Okay, I don't want to spit. Okay. The Free Spoke. Towering transit hub. Enter the spoke. A tangled network of service maps here. Scale the spoke. Risk. Okay. I'm gonna wait for a 6 to do that. What's here? No. This is waiting. Okay, where can I use my 4 then? Somewhere here? I guess here? Minus free cryo, wonderful. So worth it. Oh, and let's do this to get food. Cool. Leave. And now here, and we're gonna find out how much a stabilizer gives us. All the way to max, huh? Interesting. End cycle. Let's see here. Neutral outcome. Oh, I have to actually get through this whole thing, huh? Nice. Midline freight hub. That's new. Random items, minus condition. With so many shipments, what's one diverted package? You would have no idea what you were stealing, but it's part of the fun, right? I love that. Let's see. Random items. And what did I get? I don't even know. Cool. It's just waiting. Should be iron. anything unlocked here? Yes. Things unlocked there. This is... Okay, this is just waiting. Oh, so this is just a way for me... So these, like, refresh, and this is a way for me to get extra stuff, I think? Let's see. Keynotes are the ones that are important, I think. This personal terminal is empty apart from a single high-level encryption locked behind access protocols. Encrypted key. Okay. I have a 4. Where can I use the 4? Let's try using it here. Neutral. Okay. And now I would like food. Your mouth stings as your sensorium sends warning signals over and over. This is the good stuff. Can I... There we go. Street food vendor. Let's talk. Sleeper! Emphas calls out to you, a booming voice that echoes through the corridor. Tell me a story. He throws a handful of chopped mushrooms into his wok, the fire leaping up to meet the oil. I see you. Cycle in, cycle out, but we never speak. Tell me a story. What kind? Any kind. He pauses to drizzle something from a plastic bottle into the wok. But one of yours. He looks up at you. Nothing stolen. You pause. The spice is rich in your nostrils, and think about the kind of story you'd like to tell Emphas. You look at Emphas, the listener, and imagine he has heard it all before. Perhaps he would enjoy a strange story, something with some spice. Tell him about your dreams. All the sleepers, you tell Emphas, had dreams. Some were simple, memories left over from the emulation process that had become tangled up in their minds and would come out when they slept. It wasn't rare to hear a sleeper in the dorm scream or cry out in the night. But your dreams, those gray skeletal after images of systems and structures, of threads and patterns, weren't like the others. They weren't memories or nightmares. They were reflections of reality, distorted, yes, but somehow true. You learned back then to keep quiet about them, to let them flow through your mind like water. That was until now, until you arrived in this place. Now your dreams colonize your waking life. They slip behind your eyelids with every blink, and now you understand they aren't dreams at all, but some process of interfacing, of speaking, of living in another world that flows through this one like smoke through air. You tell him that you do not know if there is a reason for your dreams. Perhaps, you reason, it is just some side effect, or particular quality of the frame you inhabit. But whatever it is a gift, and you hope to make use of it. Emphas finishes cooking and squints a little at you. Sleeper, he smiles. You are quite the storyteller. He eyes you, and you realize that he is trying to gauge how honest you have been in your story. Emphas passes you the meal he has cooked, and you take it gratefully. As you eat, he talks. A natural exchange. Thank you, Sleeper. He looks around an empty market. But my time is done for today, and I do not want to keep you longer, so I will make a proposal. He gestures to the plastic boxes of ingredients stacked behind the stall. These are good enough for most, but someone told me a story that made me think, a couple of cycles ago. They said that across the gap, in the Greenway, fresh mushrooms grow. Have you heard this? No. Neither had I. But I trust the one who told me. Emphas begins packing up his things. Can you bring me some? I cannot cross the gap, and I worry about leaving my things behind. He smiles. I am sure a storyteller like you could handle the trip. I will prepare them for you, and, if you wish to tell it, be the audience for another story. Agreed. Good, booms Emphas. Then I will wait for you to bring them. Emphas slides his walk away and straightens up. I will prepare a recipe, then, Sleeper. Good luck with your foraging. You turn away and walk back into the main market, the rich taste of Emphas's food still lingering in your mouth. Stories for food, you think, a trade that seems more than fair. Tap hydration. Okay. Oh no. Time to be hunted. Do I lose? Oh. Hold it there, sleeper, comes a voice from behind you. Don't you run. Good, good. A hand pats your coat down. You know your master's voice. Ethan spins you around. He's wearing a white smirk and a slick jacket, and you immediately know he has terrible news. You got all the way out here and then stayed put? He laughs a cruel laugh. That a sleeper thing? You're my first. You barely hear him. You've noticed the handgun he has leveled at your chest, and it's hard to take your eyes off it. He reaches down with his other hand and slips some kind of ring out from a belt loop without taking his eyes off you. Making it to the eye, though, that's pretty good. This place isn't so bad. Bars, markets, people. I pull most of my contracts out of asteroid caves or off of god-forsaken moons. Sorry for the burp. He splits the ring into two perfect circles. It's hard to hit civilization when there's so much space to pass through. Who are you? Just a freelancer in a contract. He reaches over to slide the rings around your wrists. Go easy. You see a chance the moment his eyes leave you to watch the rings. You spin, knocking him away and sprinting down the corridor. Then the shot rings out, echoing off the metal so loud it hurts your ears. A bullet hole smokes in the wall beside your head. You freeze, and Ethan closes the gap. This is a very boring routine. Trust me, I've seen it all before. He slips the rings over your trembling wrists. Ethan nudges you to start walking. To the ship and home, he whistles, going easy. You stumble down the corridor, your hands behind you, your mind racing. Who hired you? Your daddies at SNR. They want you home for dinner. Ethan yawns and continues to nudge you down the corridor. Shame to come all the way out here just to head back to SNR right away. That tracker of yours makes this too quick. Was hoping you'd put up a bit more of a chase, you know. A running battle for the bright market maybe, or a holdout in the low end. There's a few establishments I would have enjoyed checking out while I asked around. You walk on in silence for a little longer, desperately trying to think of a way to escape. That SNR tracker will be the death of you. Hey, I have an idea. Ethan interrupts your thoughts. How about on the way back to the ship we stop for a drink? I'm buying. He laughs at his own joke. Although, muses Ethan, I've got myself thinking, what's the rush here? Here we are in one of the most lawless joints in the surrogate systems, and we're heading for the exit. He pauses and you trudge on in silence. Okay, here's the idea, starts Ethan. You and me, we make a little agreement. Here are the terms. He turns you to face him. You run, or leave, or try to abandon the eye, I shoot you. You plot or scheme, you try to kill me, I shoot you. But you come meet me at an establishment of my choice every few cycles and you pay my tab, I don't shoot you. He pauses. You don't pay my tab? He rattles his handgun. You get the idea. You're letting me go? Not at all. Let's call it open custody. We are free to mooch around the eye as long as you keep paying up. He stretches. You know, I really thought I was going to have to kill you, but this is so much better. He clicks something at his belt and the rings release from your wrist. I'm going to see if I can find my old stool at a compressor club. Come see me there. He aims the handgun at you, squinting down the sight. Let me just remind you, that body of yours is one big tracker, so don't even think about leaving the eye. I'll know. Ethan turns and strides up down the corridor, slipping his handgun away. The mix of relief and terror you feel is overwhelming. What are you going to do? That's the drive. Pay Ethan's tab. So we have to find a way to remove that tracker. Well, we're getting... So once this ends... So next cycle, he's supposed to work on removing our tracker. You see Ethan at a distance shouting from the bar for more drinks. This bill isn't going to be small, is it? So hopefully if the tracker is fixed up... This is new. Sell ship mine, buy ship mine core. Export Matsutaka. Okay. Anything here? Two. Any like key ones? No? Okay. This one. 2 or 3. I can do 2. Okay, now we go back 1 cycle. Right, I wanted to do this. I have a 6. Wonderful. As hub access elevator. Send to hub. The hub. Spacer socializing. This access manifests. +5 cryo. How nice. Gimbal lounge. Space meal. Okay, what is this? Oh, this is just how I go down. Send to hub. That should say descend, but sure. Here. Bang! As you arrive, Thang comes striding towards you, taking you by surprise. Let's go, sleeper. He puts a hand on your shoulder and turns you back the way you came. He steps into the passageway, guiding you down Ring towards the shipyard. Sorry for the hurry, but we have something of an opportunity. That data you ripped? Well done, by the way. Tells me Hardin is making a rare inspection of the sidereal horizon this cycle. Is the perfect chance to confront him outside of that compound he hides in. Thang takes a sharp turn into a dimly lit side passage. Sidereal horizon? Still catching up? That's the massive colony ship being built out in the shipyard, biggest commission haven it has ever had. Thang slows and slips into a dark service tunnel where, somewhere in the black, a water pipe drips. It's him, sleeper, the same Hardin Hurst. Our worm ripped out decades of records that mention him by name, an entire trail of documentation from the first days of the Solheim collapse until now. He wrote out the whole thing, slipped into Havenage when it first broke off from the Union. He paces in the tunnel, a hand rubbing at the back of his head. I need you to understand something about Solheim, sleeper. I don't know what you know about the collapse, but it wasn't as instant as it sounds. It wasn't like Solheim was here, running the station one day, and the next Erland's Union took power. Back then, Solheim knew this place was slipping away from them. As the palladium market collapsed, they tried to keep the contractors here working. The pay got smaller, the costs higher. People like my parents were forced to work non-stop just to keep a berth on the station and water in their tanks. Solheim squeezed every last worker until the mistakes, the accidents were coming in non-stop. And as new waves of contractors came in, desperate to work, Solheim welcomed them, taking bribes instead of checking pilot licenses. The whole time Solheim was folding up, dragged into court cases in the central systems, while the severed limb of a station still desperately tried to take all it could. The riots came after the collision at Dock 2. A young pilot, his MEV overloaded with palladium, miscalculated his trajectory and took out a section of the ring. Hundreds died, thousands panicked. My parents told me people were terrified, and the blame fell squarely on Solheim. People like to tell stories about Erlen, how he brought the factions together, spoke to the crowd, stirred out Solheim. Maybe that's true. But my mother, pregnant with me, locked herself in her MEV and welded it to the dock while my father joined the improvised crews trying to seal up the ragged edges of the gap. He never came back. Thang pauses in the dark. They sealed it up though, and by the time they did, Solheim was gone, abandoning every one of us to the black. Apart. Thang finally turns back to you now, his eyes burning. From shits like Hardin, shits who held their place, rode it out, and slipped into the new structure like nothing had changed. Standing shoulder to shoulder with those they had exploited at every step. Thang starts walking again. That's why I can't just let him strut about the shipyard. This time, his past catches up with him. How is he still alive? Clearly you don't know much about executives. That kind of power comes with certain benefits. Thang rejoins the main passageway, which is now wide and glass-roofed. Through the ceiling you can see ships in mid-construction, their flanks lit by the flashes of plasma torches. The entrance to the shipyard is ahead. This is crazy. Thang turns to look at you. Don't come then. I won't force you. We stand across from each other in a corridor. What is it then, Sleeper? You coming or not? I'm coming. Thang grins. Let's go show this shithead some consequences. He strides to the shipyard entrance and pushes through the doors. A web of corridors lead through the complex, snatches of the construction bays always appearing through windows. Ships are suspended like whale corpses, skeletal, imposing. Thang seems to know exactly where he is going, and before long you cross into a huge dry dock locked to one side of the sidereal horizon. A network of platforms and scaffolding cling to the ship's hull, filled with workers and equipment. The sound is stretched out by the vast space so that the welding, cutting, and sealing seems to come from everywhere at once. Both you and Thang spot them at the same time. A group walking slowly across the gantry, and at the front, two men, one gesturing towards the ship and the other stick-thin, cleanly dressed with a shock of grey hair. Hardin. You and Thang say his name in unison, and Thang sets off up the staircase to the gantry, with you following behind. As you come to the same level, the group is passing closer, the foreman gesturing to the work being done throughout the dock and Hardin nodding along. Hardin Hurst! Thang shouts across the noise, taking you by surprise. His voice bounces and comes back in a rippling echo. The figures turn. Yes? Hardin asks quizzically, raising an eyebrow. He glances between you and Thang, and you see his gaze linger on your body, unsure of why a sleeper might be in this place. You are a traitor, Hardin. A Solheim executive who tried to hide here among its victims. Thang's voice is steady, strong. You stand for everything the Eye was rebuilt in the shadow of, against everything Erlen stood for, everything Havenage stands for. You have no place on this station. For a moment, stillness descends on the group, as if everyone was held in place by the rattle of construction. Hardin laughs. Well, good to meet you too! He glances around at those around him. Some are smiling, the others nervous. You are from the systems branch, are you not? Asks Hardin, inspecting Thang's clothing. Thang turns to the foreman. We need to call your security. This man is a corporate agent. The foreman glances between Thang and Hardin, his hands drumming at his sides. Hardin leans towards him and says something inaudible. The foreman nods. It's true. As you begin speaking, Hardin turns his attention to you. And what would a sleeper know about that? You accuse me of being a corporate agent. What are you if not exactly that? He looks around at the group who are already eyeing you with suspicion. You are a product of SNR. You have no place in the Havenage shipyard. Who knows what signals you are sending back to your makers? A murmur of approval runs through the group. Fang holds up a stick of memory. You guessed right. I am systems, and I have records that link you directly to Solheim right here. He turns to the foreman again. So once again, I am asking you to take this man into the custody of the shipyard. The foreman remains still. Hardin's voice is calm, measured. If you have such data, why hasn't it been submitted at a members' meeting for a proper review? He shakes his head. I have nothing to hide, unlike a man who does not announce his name, who enters my shipyard with corporate property in tow, and tries to turn my own men against me. You hear it now, the echoing sound of boots on walkways, coming from all angles at once, and then settling behind you. Please, says Hardin, submit the data for the correct channels, then we can talk. For now, however, you must leave. He gestures behind you to the security detail, their hands on boxy black sidearms at their sides. Hardin, you shithead. You can't wriggle out of this one. A security officer draws their weapon and levels it. Fang turns and stares him down. You look at Fang. He shakes his head and puts a hand on your shoulder. Let's go, says Fang, and he pushes for security, heading back down the walkway. When security has walked you out of the shipyard and nudges you back into the corridor, Fang picks up pace. I try to keep up as he slips into the shadows of an entrance. Fang is grinning ear to ear. You know, Sleeper, sometimes people are exactly how you expect them to be. Something pings in his pocket and he takes it out. On the slate, a web of connections starts drawing itself out, stretching to a set of points around the ring. Got him, mutters Fang. What's going on? Hardin is doing what any snaky shithead always does, calling his friends. We are tracking his ongoing messages. Fang's grin looks ghostly in the uplight of his screen. The old ways are best. Spook them good enough and they'll give the game away. He jabs at the slate and you see the web is being drawn over a map of the ring, lines bouncing from point to point. All these dots? These are Hardin's buddies. The ones he is messaging right now, and we are going to find them all. That was on purpose? Of course, Hardin isn't working alone. We need a full set or nothing. Fang glances around and slips the slate back into his pocket. We better split for now, Sleeper, but this is exactly what we need. Good hunting. With a pat on your shoulder, Fang drifts away, back into the flow of people around the shipyard entrance. You watch him go, unsure whether to be angry or impressed. One upgrade point. Oh, it needs 2 upgrade points for another passive. Okay. Okay. I think we stop here. I think this is a good place to stop. I'm really enjoying the game. I'm really enthralled in the story. I also really just enjoy reading out things, but like in a calm voice, not having to do like proper voice acting. So this was like really nice and calming for me. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed the story too. I'll try to continue this maybe next week. Tomorrow we're playing Metaphor. I'm planning to start earlier, and hopefully if I have the energy I'll do a longer stream. We'll see if I have the energy to just do, well, so the plan is to do a longer stream anyway, but the decision is whether I will have the energy to do Metaphor that whole time, or if we'll swap to something chiller after like a few hours, because we're starting 2 hours earlier than usual tomorrow. Thanks everyone again for hanging out today. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye bye.